Hi everyone, welcome to another weekly forex forecast with Blueprint Forex. I'm Francis, and in this week's forecast I'm going to be talking about EURCHF, NZDCAD and Pound USD. So let's get straight into the video. Now this is the monthly time frame on EURCHF, and what we can first of all see is that the price of this pair has been in a downtrend for the past 10 years or more. And we can expect the price to get to this area of support right here, because you can see that it has acted as support around 2014 and around 2010 back here. So with I can expect to see price drop further into this area, and I will zoom in so I can buttress that point. So right here we can see that we had some kind of downtrend. We have previous support at this point. We can see that the area acted as support through this area right here, and we had a close below it. We had retest as resistance at this point. That was 2 months ago. The candle closed as a rejection candle. Last month just came back within this rejection candle right here and failed to close above it, which means there's still a very high chance of price dropping further, and this area is still holding as new resistance. So I would expect to see continuation lower into 0 to 65 over the next couple of months, as the case may be. So let's see what we have from the weekly time frame. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame on EURCHF, and we can see how this descending channel has been intact for at least 2 years now. And now once again we have price retesting previous area of support at this point as new resistance. We had a rejection of that level 2 months ago. Last week we had a rejection, and this week we're already having another rejection right here. So at this point we can see that from the monthly time frame we want to see price drop lower, and the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame we actually have the confluence of this descending channel and previous horizontal support at this point, which is now resistance at this point. So with these two confluence on the monthly and weekly time frame, we can expect to see continuation lower. So let's go to the daily time frame and see what we have from the daily time frame. Alright, so this is the daily time frame on this pair, and what we can see is that we have a little bit of choppy price action at this point. So what I will actually be doing is that I'll be waiting for price to make a retracement into this area of structure. That's the major level I have on the daily time frame, which is at 0782. I'll be expecting to see price make a retracement into that area. Then I'll drop to the 4 hours time frame, and if I'll see one of my valid entries around that point, then I'll be taking a short trade to 0662. A daily close below this area on the retest, I'll be taking on that short trade to 0580. A daily close below, and I'll just keep taking short trades till I get to my overall target on the monthly time frame. However, we could decide to wait for price to make it into this low, give a retest of this area of structure right here. As you can see, all the wicks that have rejected this area is also a good area to pick an entry from, because with this we have all these areas acting as support at this point, and if price will fail to give a daily close below this area, we might see continuation higher. So it will be a risky trade. However, I'll be looking for one of my valid entries around this point, and if I'm going to see it, then I'm going to be taking a trade from this area with good risk to reward. However, if the price will just continue downward at the market open, then I'll be waiting for a retest of these areas as new resistance. At that point I'll be taking my short trade into these lows. So this is all on EURCHF. Let's see what we have on the next pair. Alright, so the next pair on our watch list for this coming week is NZDCAD, and this is the monthly time frame on NZDCAD. What we can see first is this pretty descending channel we had right here, a channel that was preceded by this upward rally. After that we have this channel, and right here we can see how price found support at this low, seeing that it had acted as support at this point. Even at this point, if I put an actual horizontal line at that point, you are going to see that that area has acted as support at this point. We had support through this area right here. So after that we had a break of this ascending or this descending trend line at this point, a daily close, a monthly close above that level, which shows that this the move on this descending channel could be over. So at this point, what would I expect? A retest of the channel as new support before continuation upwards. However, remember that we have a double bottom pattern at this point with a broken neckline, so it's also nice to expect a retest of previous resistance as new support before the continuation higher. So at this point I want to see price make a retest of this place within this coming week before the continuation higher I expect to happen from the monthly time frame. So let's see what we have from the weekly time frame. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame on NZDCAD, and what we can immediately see is this area of structure right here. You can see how it has acted as resistance at this point. We have support at this point, we have support at this point, we have resistance at this point, and I would expect this area to act once again as resistance, which means I would expect to see a drop to this area and the rejection of this area before I start looking for long trade according to what I have from the monthly time frame. So at this point I'm looking for a drop into this area of structure before continuation upward like we have from the monthly time frame. So from the monthly time frame we have a bullish market. On the weekly time frame we are waiting for the market to actually turn into a bullish market. That's the retest of previous resistance as new support. Let's see what we have from the daily time frame. Alright, so this is the daily time frame, and we have an ascending trend line at this point with support down at this area. We have the trend line acting as support at this point. We have it acting as support at this point, and right now we can see price coming back to that area. However, the area I highlighted from the weekly time frame is somewhere around this point right here, which means we will most likely have a break of this ascending trend line at this point. And this is actually an interesting part of the market. We are going to have a situation where day traders will be looking at a broken trend line and looking for continuation lower. But since from the monthly and the weekly time frame we already have a bullish market in play, I'm expecting to see price come into this area, and from then after this break at this point, it will most likely end up being a fake break, and we have continuation back upwards with price clearing out all the stops of persons who would have been selling this market from this area already. So at this point, if I'm going to be taking any short trade, I want to be looking for entry from somewhere around 88.77, and if I'm going to get a good entry from 88.77, then I'm going to take a short trade down into 87.91, and then I want to watch and see how price will react to this area. And if I'm going to get a daily rejection of this whole area of structure right here, then I'm going to be positioning myself for a long trade into my targets above, which I talked about on the weekly and the monthly time frame. So let's see what we have on the last pair for today, pound USD. Alright, so this is the monthly time frame on pound USD, and what we can immediately see first is the market that came from this high, dropped to this area, and then we had consolidation around this point. Price came back to this area where we have the first touch of this descending trend line. Then we had this push lower, and then we have a situation where price has been finding support at this major level of support down at this point here. So now it's already clear from the monthly time frame that we have price rejecting major level of support, and I expect to see price make it to this descending trend line at this point. That's this descending monthly trend line before either a break higher or a continuation lower. So from the monthly time frame, I expect to see price make it up into this area before either a continuation lower or a break and a continuation higher. So let's see what we have from the weekly time frame. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we have quite a different type of situation, and this means from this low right here, we had a push to this area. We had one high, a higher high, higher low. Now we have an higher high, which means on the weekly time frame right here we have an uptrend, and what I would expect to see next will be a test of previous level of resistance as new support. As you can see, that level is an important level. You can see it acting as support back here. You can see it acting as resistance at this point. You can see resistance at this point. You can see support at this point. We have support, we have resistance at this point. So that's actually a very important level of structure in the market. So with price rejecting another important level of structure here, of which we actually have a confluence of resistance. Looking from here, we can see how at this point here we had price rejecting this resistance at this point. We had one rejection at this point, we had one rejection at this point again. So the last video I made, I talked about the possibility of price coming to this over the next couple of weeks. I think when price was trading below here, and can see how the price has behaved since then. So at this high now, I'll be expecting to see a retracement into 27-26 area of support. Then at that area, I'll be looking for long opportunities into the overall monthly targets at this at the monthly trend line I have at this point right here. So this means from the weekly time frame, we can already see that this week has rejected this area of structure right here, which means we'll most likely be seeing the drop I expect to happen within this coming week to this low before the continuation higher. So let's see what we have from the daily time frame. Now remember that from the monthly time frame, I expect to see price make it into this high. From the weekly time frame, we have support resistance, and from that resistance I'll be expecting to see price drop to previous level of support resistance, which should be acting as support before the continuation higher. So now let's see what we have from the daily time frame. Now this is the daily time frame, and I have this ascending channel right here. We had a break above it, a retest, and now we have a situation where price will most likely be breaking back into this channel. And remember that at this point we have one low, at this point we have another low at this point. And the area I highlighted from the weekly time frame is right around this point right here. So from the weekly time frame, I expect that price will get to this low before continuation lower. But now from the daily time frame, you can see clearly that we are not yet having a daily close below this area right now. So we cannot be looking for any short trades at this point, which means we want to see a clear daily close back within this ascending channel before we start looking for short opportunities into these areas before continuation upward like I expect. And now it's important to note that price doesn't just fall. You hardly see a situation where price will just fall straight to this area, which means we could have a situation where it will take like 2 or 3 weeks for the price to gradually make it into this low at this point before we start looking for possible long trades for continuation higher. So this is what I'm expecting to see on pound USD, a move to previous level of resistance, which I would expect to act as support at this point before continuation upwards. So a quick recap from the on EURCHF, I expect to see price drop. So I expect to see either a retest of this area with a good trading signal for continuation lower, or I want to see a push lower, then a retest of this area of structure at this point for a continuation lower. So that's for EURCHF. On NZDCAD, I will expect to see a push lower into this lows right here, then a good trading signal for continuation higher. Then finally on pound USD, I would expect to see a convincing close back within this ascending channel. Then on the retest, I'll be looking for good trading opportunities to take short trades into this area. So that's going to be all with today's forex forecast. If you enjoyed this forecast, please like, subscribe, click on the bell notification to enable you get our content whenever we upload them. Also leave a comment in the comment section below, share this video. Till we meet in the next analysis, do remain profitable and have yourself a wonderful weekend. Good day.